Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Hairymuppet. Welcome back, and we are playing Factorio Space Age today. So we finished off with shapes. Not really going to go back to that. I think we pretty much played that game out. But Factorio Space Age is completely different, and as you can tell by the title of the video, we have something very interesting that we're going to be attempting, and we're going to be attempting it completely blind. So I've had a little bit of a look at the tech tree and zoomed through all of the crazy things. We're not going to go into detail ahead of them. I looked at a little bit of them, and you look at like if we go over to labs, for example, like you've got all of your standard tech up to space. Space is a little bit weird. Then you've got one tech for each of the 3 new planets. Then we got the cryo end planet, and then we got this mysterious planet. And you look at cryo in the tech link, and it says, okay, it takes 3 different things. No idea what any of them are. No idea how to make any of them. You could try and trace through the tech tree. I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to be playing it pretty organically. And as you can see, so far we've got red and green science on the belt being pushed through. We got some green circuits being built up here, and we can go through the rest of the map, and we can see we got some generic stackers here. I do have very little iron coming through at the moment, and it's supplying both the steel and the iron, which if we were doing serious science at the moment, this would probably be a problem, but I do have some stored up from beforehand, so it's kind of just filtering out at the moment. But yeah, we got steel, we got stone, iron, copper, very generic limited iron stacks and mining deposits, a little bit of smelting, nothing really to talk about. So what are we doing in this series? First of all, I'm going to try and do things a little bit differently. This is not a playthrough, this is sort of a look back series. So every now and then I'm going to look back and just sort of describe the base as is. I'm not going to be building anything in the video, because I started doing that, had a really good time with the circuits and with the trains only run in shapes, but then ended up with every single video being an hour long. And if you like that sort of stuff, yeah, but I feel like a lot of it was just me. It was just like me playing through, and it was a bit, because, yeah, I made lots of mistakes. I take a while. I sit there thinking, and the whole time the video is just capturing, and I wasn't super happy with it. I mean, maybe somebody else likes to see me just sit there and think, or sit there and consult circuit diagrams online while I try and figure out how to do multiplication, but I don't think it was all that good. So we're gonna kind of just be looking back at what we built. And I've already showed you everything we built this time. So first things first, it's a Megabase. So we are building a Megabase. It is going to be 1K SPM for every science pack. So if we look back at the tech tree here, not going to spoil things too much. This is all the tech we've already done. But you can see there is infinite research. And we're going to be doing stuff like, a few different... I'm not sure what most of this stuff is, to be honest. There's like rocket part production, asteroid productivity. If we go and find... That's uranium mining. Where's mining productivity? It's here somewhere. I already did at least one hit of it. Here it is, mining productivity. So it does go to infinite. So far the infinite is just showing the purple. So level 2 is blue, and then level 3 includes purple. I'm sure that's going to go up to infinite, and when it gets to infinite, it'll no longer be purple. It'll be space science, it'll be crazy cryogenic science, it'll be all that sort of stuff. So we'll have that sort of thing. Will be robot speed, but yeah, it's basically going to be productivity and robot speed and that sort of stuff, infinite research. So I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here, but let's start talking about this playthrough in a little bit more detail. So we've changed some things in the settings for this map. I've used the default settings for everything. I turned enemies off. Let's just go ahead and say I turned enemies off. Now, by default, you can't see them because I got a very large starting area, but the biter bases still spawn. And you need the biter bases to do some interesting things, like there's some things later on down the science where you actually build science buildings on top of biter bases and then pump them for resources in some way. I'm not sure if that happens on Nauvis, on the original planet, which is called Nauvis, or if it just happens on other planets. But for that reason, when you turn enemies off, you still get the biter bases, but they just sit there and do nothing. I turned off cliffs as well, adjusted some of the other settings a little bit, but all the resource settings are still default. I don't know what that means. I think that means for the other planets we won't have to worry about enemies. I'm hoping, because yeah, I actually played Space Exploration last year, and I turned off enemies, and then I discovered that on all the other planets the enemies were still turned on, and I hate enemies so much. I just hate them. I ended up cheating and spawning a bunch of resource patches on the home planet, which included all of the crazy space exploration. I think Naquitite I ended up spawning on my home planet, and that just made things so much easier. But I'm not going to do that. There's no cheating in this. I don't even have any mods installed, like completely zero mods at the moment. No mods, no console commands. Usually I use console commands to speed the game up. I'm not doing it this time because, well, of course, there's a whole bunch of new achievements, and I want as many of these new achievements as I can get. Some of them have been banned, like these two: finish the game within 100 hours and 40 hours, destroy your first enemy structure using it. These three have been banned because I turned off enemies. So I'm not eligible to get any of these. But yeah, we'll see. We'll get some other achievements. There's still about 40 more that I can get, and I've gotten a few actually. I got one for doing some research with green science and research with red science. I'm not sure. There's no real way to sort these, is there? I got these. I think these top four I got new, and then so I got all the original vanilla achievements, and then yeah, research with automation, and I misread that for a sec. I thought it said research with autism, but research with logistics. Yeah, so all of the original vanilla achievements we got, and we're starting to spit up a bunch of new achievements as well. But yeah, so as we said, no enemies, no cliffs. That's pretty much all I changed. And I turned off pollution, of course, because without enemies you don't need pollution, and pollution just sort of slows the game down. But yeah, that's pretty much. So we got a few more things we can research with red and green, but I'm just very slowly going through the research tree. So we're up to oil. I haven't done oil yet. So what I probably will do is I'll do a quick little episode every now and then that just sort of shows what I've done. There's not much to talk about here. Next episode, I might have some trains done. There's a lot to talk about with trains. Previous times with mods, I've used the LTN train network. All the improvements they've made with trains have pretty much, I wouldn't say made the LTN mod obsolete, because LTN means you could reuse the same train for different products. I'm not sure how viable it is I think it's viable to do that with Space Age at the moment, but I think it might be more pain than it's worth. So I'll probably still have like an iron train and a copper train and a steel train. But the difference is the iron train will take iron from any deposit and put it out to any sort of thing, and then you can have special things like if a train is running low on fuel, then it goes to a depot to refuel, and if it's have like waiting depots and stuff like that in weird places. So we're going to experiment. We're going to see that sort of stuff. But anyway, it's going to be a Megabase. It's going to be 1K SPM for the entire thing. And we're going to get to the point where we do infinite research. And I honestly don't know, because I played space exploration, and I did the space elevator with the trains, and I did the cargo rockets and all that sort of stuff, and I got my head around it. I have no idea how this is going to work. I mean, I'm just going to highlight these guys real quick, but I mean, you have a look at this iron plate. You see down the bottom, stack size 100, rocket capacity 1,000, 10 stacks. 1,000 iron in a rocket? Like, how do you build? I suppose, like, how much science can we fit in a rocket? Okay, so you can fit 1,000 in a rocket. So that means we need one rocket per minute delivering each of the science packs. So maybe that's not too bad. Maybe we just put the science in rockets and then we just have one rocket per science. But then again, can you send a rocket directly from one planet to another? Or do you need because I think I read somewhere that you send a rocket goes up to the space platform, and then the space platform moves from one planet to another. So how long does that take for a platform to go from one planet to another? Do you have to send like 100,000 science or something, or 10,000 science on that platform in order to get it? Because I'm assuming that all of your actual research facilities are going to end up on the final planet. Or maybe you send the science back from the final planet back to Navis or something. I really don't know. So, as you can see, I'm going into this blind. It's completely blind. I have no idea what I'm doing. Though all I know is that I'm gonna set up a really nice base on Navis. I'm gonna set up using no mods, but we're gonna try and do a really nice train network using all the new functionality. We're gonna be ignoring quality. If there's a specific thing I want really high quality, then maybe we will. But for the most part, all the belts, all the buildings, all the inserters, all the things we're building, they're all going to be zero quality. And yeah, I may break that for like modules, like productivity modules or something like that. Speed modules I'm not too worried about. Productivity modules though, if we really start getting boned, if there's a really hard resource that we need to pull out of the ground or pull out of the air or pull out of some vat or something like that, and it starts getting seriously hard to get that resource to the levels that we need for a 1K SPM Megabase. 1K SPM, in case I didn't mention it, it means 1,000 of each science pack every minute. 1K SPM. So it's in the Megabase territory, but it's not like a gigabase. It's not like 5K SPM or something. I would not be crazy enough to do that. It's right on the cusp of space age. But 1K SPM, I think it should be doable. It should be workable. So yeah, but productivity modules, we might start getting higher quality versions of those, figure out some way to generate legendary productivity modules. I think that might be good. And maybe speed modules, I don't know. But the general buildings and stuff like that, maybe we'll start making like legendary buildings if, for example, I don't know what it would actually do. You can see over there on the right hand side, little blue diamonds. So it's the health and the crafting speed. So yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, productivity, absolutely. I can see us getting quality modules to improve that. Speed, I'm not sure if that's worth it, because you just add another few machines and it's all good. So why would you, I don't really want to mess around with quality if I don't have to. I don't want to it's not going to be a main part of the build. I'm going to ignore it if I can. And yeah, productivity, yes. I think productivity will be where we go down that route if we need to. But then again, if we can do it without quality, because I don't want to be setting up some stupid build to farm legendary productivity modules. I want something I can plan and just say, good, done. And I don't want to be in the position where I'm planning around legendary productivity modules, because then it'll be like 200 hours to get a build done because we're just waiting for the modules. Or maybe we can figure out some way to just get legendary done beautifully. I don't know. I don't actually know how these are. It's like quality plus 1%. Does that mean it's a 1% chance of getting green? Of getting the second level of priority? Of quality? Because when we did quality, it unlocked uncommon and then rare. So I'm assuming for each module, it gives you a 1% to go up, but then you'd have to get, so it's a 1% chance of getting this, and then you put this one back in and get a 1% chance of doing the rare. And then you've got low epic quality and then legendary quality, which is like, so it's like currently we're at the bottom, level 1, and then you go up to level 5, and it's a 1% of a 1% for 1% for 1%. Obviously, you can put more modules and you can get better modules, like these ones are going to be, so that's 2.5%. And this one is 2% and then 2.5%. So even if you put 4 of these into a machine, it's 10%. So 10% of 10% is 1%. So you're still looking at 0.01%, which is 1 in 10,000, to get from a normal to a legendary. I mean, for a productivity module, I mean, how many of these guys are you going to have to throw in the bin? How many? That's just I don't think we're going to do that. I mean, it's very early days, so, you know, can't really say anything at the moment, but yeah. So, we're going to take it easy. We're going to make short videos. Like, I'm rambling at this point. This is me rambling, okay? And we're only at 16 minutes, so this is not going to be a video longer than 20 minutes. But this is mainly just covering the scope. So, yeah. 1K SPM, no enemies, no cliffs. Everything else is pretty much default. And it'll be a journey. It'll definitely be a journey. But we're not going to really start building the Megabase until we get to the end. Because I'm sure there's some stuff at the end that gets unlocked that I will need. And besides, I don't think any of the infinite research will be unlocked until we have all the planets and all the science. So, yeah. I mean, I'm not... Like, plus, I don't know exactly how the logistics is going to work. So, I could set up a 1K SPM base on NowVees to generate the first 5 science packs. But how is that going to be all the first 6? I guess 5. I guess we can probably ignore military science because no enemies. But yeah, is that going to be viable? I mean, or do we need to move intermediate products between planets? I just don't know. So anyway, that's what we're talking about. That's what we're doing. And that has been this video. So this is basically a video just to get excited. That's pretty much it. I'll come back. I'm not sure when I'm going to come back, but at the very least, we'll have blue science done. We'll start moving onto Rails. We'll have probably worn out this starting patch. We'll start moving on to Rails. Is the first cough of the entire playthrough. So yeah, but okay, that's another good reason to keep these episodes short, because I tend to cough when I do a lot of talking. It's like the first time I think I've coughed in like weeks. So yeah, too much talking, not good for me. So keep it short, keep it simple, keep it awesome. I'm going to end the episode off at there. And yes, just to clarify, if you are new to Factorio, this is not the playthrough for you. We're not going to be covering this sort of stuff. If you're new to Space Age and you want to get in-depth in the mechanics, you might learn something. I'm not sure if we're going to be going deep into builds. We may not. I think we're going to be describing how to build a Megabase, but that, I mean, we're not going to describe like in-depth, like automation science. And we may not even be describing in-depth the new sciences for the new planets. We may just say, okay, this is a build, this is how you do it. And then we just start talking about the Megabase implications of that product, but not going through all the individual components at a low level. I'll have to see how we go, because if I start doing that, then we start getting into hour-long videos, which we're not going to do. So anyway, I'm going to finish it off here. We got red and green science, and we got steel and stone bricks, and we got 1 pump jack, which I just created because you need a pump jack to get this research, because they added some research. We have to actually mine stuff if you go at the very start of the game, like electronics is actually unlocked by doing a copper plate, and then steam power is unlocked by crafting iron plates. It's very interesting stuff. There's some of the mods have done that previously, but it's nice to see the vanilla game sort of get into that period. And there's a lot of other things as well, like you put a building, it shows the highlighting is a bit nicer. I'm not going to cover all of that, but I'll cover it if I remember. But anyway, that's the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you guys later.